You mentioned Dream Team twice, and I want to ask you, tell me about your Dream Team.
I couldn't be more proud of my team. So we have four C-level executive. I just onboard Dominic, 17 years in franchising. He's friend depth. He's awesome. He's wonderful. And I have a CTO, Patrick, who have done, build big corporate, technology. And the last two person I want to mention is their name is Laura and Stephanie. Stephanie is a product of best in class. When she was about 5 or 6 years old, it is like, of course, I don't want to give up her age, but like she was a best in class student. Her mom hand her little hand to me. This is Stephanie. I want to sign her up. Before I knew it, she graduated from high school. She was a tutor. She was a teacher. She was a center manager. Now she's the CFO. So
Wow.
she had worked for me for probably 17, 18 years, but I've known her for her life. And then Laura, she was our English teacher. She graduated from university probably at the age of 19 or 20, super smart. She was an English teacher. And then someday I need an admin person. My wife told me that, you should talk to Laura, an English teacher. And of course, she's awesome. She became a store manager. Now she's number two. She's a CEO of the company. So I have two team members who have been with me for like over 17, 18 years.
Wow.
So yeah, because they believe in what we do, right?
Yeah.
It is the why. It is we empower students to change the world
You
through
sure.
education.
Right, right. And so finding the right franchisees that believe in that culture is, of course, key. And it's a challenge at times, right? You probably go through quite the process of kind of weed people out, right? That aren't a right
Oh
fit.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Dominic is really good. I mean, we interview them, and then, like you said earlier, you show the book, right? So
Right.
before they go any deeper, I send them my book. It's like, this is who I am. This is why I do what I do. It's okay if you don't like me. You don't have to continue. It doesn't mean you're a bad person, but it might be better for you to own a food concept or other thing, right? And then people read the book, and then sometimes they never come back, and sometimes they are very interested, right? And then the discovery process, as you know, right, is super important. They fly to Seattle, they meet the team, a day in their life. They go through, we'll hand them a pen. They'll
Mhm.
sit with the student. We'll talk to the manager and all the stuff. And then after discovery day, they might like us, they might not like us, or we might not like them and all this stuff. But the success rate is pretty high. So I would say 4 out of 5 people who came to our discovery will be awarded with a franchise.
Okay, and that's kind of typical. But how I find it
Yeah.
very hard to believe that anybody, first of all, wouldn't like you. So let's just let's establish that you are a very likable person, and
Thank you
anybody
very
that
much.
reads this book is going to like you even more. And it's very endearing. It's a very endearing story. I want to ask you a little bit more about your franchisees. The profile or avatar of a franchisee, I assume they don't need to have an education background, but kind of share with me some of the backgrounds of your franchisees. I want to kind of get a sense of the overall background of the profile of your network.
Yeah, yeah. So if I look at the ICP, right, ideal customer profile or the avatar, so we have a number of very successful franchisee who are have some experience in the education or childcare environment,
Hmm.
right? They have worked in the environment that dealing with kids and all that, and then they are very passionate about education, helping the kid, and then they have younger child, and now kids are growing a little older. Husband typically, we have male and female operator, but majority of them are female. Some of them are male. Male operator, have multi-unit, typically work on the business. Female operators typically very, very passionate, roll up the sleeve. I have a wonderful franchisee. Her name is Ira, right? It's funny. I asked her, when you retire, what would you like to do? Guess what the answer, Frank?
What?
When I retire, I want to work 7 days at best in class. I said,
Oh,
that's not retirement, right? These are the people who are very, very passionate
yeah,
about the brain. And then they are willing to follow the system. They listen. And then doesn't mean we like they make little changes, but like don't reinvent the wheel, right? People are following the system, do the marketing, go above and beyond, right?
hmm,
So these are the people who are willing to put in the hard work, have the patience, willing to teach, willing to talk to parent and all the stuff. It's not the education background or the business experience and all that. I don't think many of them have business experience, but those can trend. I don't think they have marketing experience. I think
sure,
marketing plays an important role, right, Frank?
right.
Right? Yeah. But we do have a secret recipe,
Hmm.
right? We have a marketing playbook called the LGAP, Lead Generation Action Plan. Within that secret playbook, there are all kinds of marketing idea, right? Like you said earlier, we don't have unlimited resources for marketing,
Hmm.
but let's pick some of them, try it out. If it works, we double down. If it doesn't work, we allocate our money to different stuff. We have marketing director that help them with that.
Um,
So yeah, someone with a marketing mindset, willing to learn, willing to grow, willing to read.
and with your franchisees, I think you might have just mentioned this, that this is a first time business for most of your franchise owners.
Oh yeah, most of them are.
Most of them are. And hence,
Most of
that's
them are.
why mentoring is so critical for you. It sounds like that you really want to, you're
Exactly,
teaching them more
exactly.
than just how to run a franchise. You're teaching them how to run just business overall, and you're teaching them leadership skills.
Yes. And mentorship is a two-way street, right, Frank?
Hmm.
Right? I learn so much from talking to them. And when I do group mastermind group, actually, I'm a facilitator, not a mentor,
Hmm.
right? If they ask a question, I want to be the last person to answer. I'm not Mr. Know It All. I'm still learning every day. And then I let them talk among themselves and then try to simulate their thought. How do I do this, right? Oh, if I want to do this, can this work and all that? And I will champion, right? Because I am the multi-unit operator. At one point, Frank, I own 11 locations. So I know a little bit about best in class and franchising, right? So I share my experience, oh, I have done this and this is why it didn't work. You can certainly try, but don't do what I did. Try something else.
Yeah, yeah. Let us, the founders, make all those mistakes.
Yes, yes. I made a lot of mistakes.
Oh, Lord knows I have as well. Since you've been franchising now, let's see, since 2010, right? So we're 14 years of
Yeah.
franchising.
14 year, yeah.
Can you pinpoint any one thing, like what's been your biggest surprise since you've been franchising?
The surprise is we think that we franchise and we sell franchise like hotcake.
Right.
It wasn't. And then even after we sell franchise, we have to tighten it up our operations menu, especially at the very beginning. You have a mix of a number of franchisee come in, so you have to deal with franchisee as various at various stage. You have to mentor or coach them with different skill set and all the stuff. It's very time consuming. A lot of people, they have a couple of corporate storefront. It's like, oh, I want to franchise the business. Same thing with us.
Right.
And then after they franchise, it's surprising is that franchising is a separate business.
Yes.
That's why, most of the franchisor sold all the corporate store,
Right.
right? So I sold all my corporate store so that I can focus on franchising. It wasn't easy. And the and one thing that is detrimental is people quit.
Hmm.
People like, right? It's like getting divorced, right? After you get married. When you get married, you never thought about divorce. Similarly, when people buy a franchise, it's a 5-year term, renewable for another 3 times 5, 20 year. But like 2 years later, family situation changes a lot, and then you got a phone call in the morning and say, "Hey, Frank, I'm out."
Right.
That is surprising, right? How do we try to understand, help them exit the lease, exit the franchise agreement. That's a big surprise.
Thank you for tuning into the Emerging Franchise Brands podcast. For additional insights, guest applications, and to stay connected, visit us at efbpodcast.com. The Emerging Franchise Brands podcast is for entertainment purposes only, and the views expressed do not necessarily represent those of Emerging Franchise Brands, its host Frank Fumey, or Emerging Franchise Group LLC. Any discussed franchise or investment opportunity requires thorough investigation, obtaining proper disclosure documents, and expert consultation before making any investment decisions. The podcast and its host do not offer professional advice or endorsements, and they hold no responsibility for actions, representations, accuracy, or consequential damages related to the podcast content.